So I'm apologize for not getting this up, but the videos are not downloading the way they should, and things are running backwards. And so I just picked small little clips from certain things that we were doing, and this is pretty much what happened over Memorial Weekend. We got the rest of the panel out, all the insulation out. Marie, both Marie and I, we used the shop vac to suck out all the insulation that was stuck to the roof. And yeah, I think that's it. So it's currently the 4th of July. That should be when I get this video posted. So happy 4th, everybody. I hope you had a good 4th. And I'm going to get back on towards the end to say something really quick. Also, there's one spot here kind of in the middle where I get a little long-winded. I'm more venting than anything else. I'm just upset about the pandemic and the things that have changed because of the pandemic. So, anyways, hopefully you enjoy.
Can you hold pause?
Well, hurry up!
Hold chill.
What are you looking for?
Gotta cut down the crap.
Okay.
The grinder?
No, the glue.
Oh.
Look over that.
I saw it. Was it like welded to the...
Hey everybody, day 3 of working on the bus, and me and Marie have come to the realization that building a home or a bus
During a pandemic.
during a pandemic or a year after a pandemic has happened is bad. So it's almost like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We normally get here at like 11 a.m. to do stuff. But we had some running around to do, some things to check on and stuff like that. Because the sawmills, the steel mills and stuff like that, they all are going through material so quickly and they can't supply everybody and stuff like that. Well, so everybody can make a dime. For instance, Home Depot, Lowe's, any steel manufacturing company, basically any wood supply place, to be able, well, it's to be able to make their money. Basically, they have skyrocketed everything. So, I mean, perfect example, this 2001 bus that we bought, we could have picked it up for $2,000, maybe $3,000 back when the whole schoolie thing started. Back when we actually had a school bus, all we had to do was be able to drive it off the lot and we got it for free. But the problem was that the money we didn't have enough money to be able to buy the steering column for the bus, and it was like $1,500 for a whole steering column. So back then we could have picked up a bus for $2,000 ish, maybe $3,000. Maybe actually this is a 2001, so we could have picked a bus up just like this one for $2,000 or $3,000. Well, because the whole schooling thing has started, and it's gotten to the point now, I mean, I looked online. I went to auctions. I did as much as I could to try to find a bus for cheap, and there just wasn't anything on any auction that I could find or anything like that. And the only buses that I could find that were for sale was with the Northwest Bus Sale companies and stuff like that. And of course, they have tripled the price of the bus, because we paid we paid a little over $9,000 for the bus when we could have paid $2,000 or $3,000 like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that, 2 years ago. So they skyrocketed the prices. Well, now here we are. We got the bus gutted. We've got a little bit of prep work to do to where we can start putting wood in and stuff like that. But we're on the fence about, we were definitely going to raise the roof. And now we're deciding not to raise the roof.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, we're running out of a little bit of money too, so that's kind of an issue. So we're trying to figure out how to do things cheap. And then, of course, right at the time that we're right on the verge of being able to put wood inside the bus, maybe raise the roof, stuff like that, so on and so forth, now all of a sudden everybody skyrocketed their prices. I mean, a year ago, you could pick up a sheet of plyboard or OSB plyboard for roughly $7 to $10, maybe $13 at the most. Right now, one sheet of plyboard is going for $80 a sheet.
At another particular place, which is called Par Lumber here in Oregon, their particular wood, there's one piece we checked on and it was $100 and some just per sheet.
Yeah, Par Lumber does mostly commercial things and stuff like that, and they wanted it was $123 or $132 for one sheet of plyboard.
Yeah.
And we need the plyboard for the floor. So it's like everything in our life, things seem to be going great. And when things are going great, then we decide to do certain things to improve our lives. And then life just takes a big dump on us. Because we paid 3 times the amount of money for the bus that we should have had to. Now we've got you know, now the wood company and the steel companies are so flippin' expensive now that it's really hard to be able to try to find any, or, you know, to be able to try to put anything inside the bus to where we can start living out of it. And so it's just kind of, we've been running around hoping we can catch a break, going into certain companies and stuff like that, trying to catch a break somewhere, somehow, some way, and it's just getting uglier and uglier by the second. The steel sheeting that we're going to need, they're out. Most of the steel supply stores here in Portland are out of 20 gauge plate steel, cold rolled, and they can't tell me how much the sheet's going to be because the steel mill is raising their prices exponentially just as much as the wood companies are. And because everybody's got so many DIY projects, and because the pandemic kicked off and everything else, so on and so forth, now all these companies are just price gouging because the companies know that people need the stuff. They need the wood, they need the steel, so they might as well make an extra buck off of it. So it's just like when Bush #2 was in office. You know, his whole family was from the oil company and everything else. And look at how the gas has skyrocketed and stuff like that back when it did. You know, in some places it got to $7, $8 a gallon. You know, and there's a war going on that he basically started because, you know, he had to finish Daddy's little war. So, but anyway, I shouldn't get political. I need to shut up. But, yeah, so it's kind of brought us down a little bit because this always happens, you know, something good starts happening in our lives and everything else, and then all of a sudden life just turns around and takes a big crap on us, and now it's like, well, I mean, we're not stuck, but
we have to find alternatives and work ourselves around what we can do, affording, and so on and so forth, and everything else. And you guys want anyway.
Well, what the front screen shows and what the back screen shows is two different.
Anyway, so we're not exactly stuck or anything. It's just, as I said, we just have to work around it, and we just have to do a little bit of leg work, research, get online, because we just need to check for, like, you know, the OfferUp / Let Go, because people sell like their extra wood and lumber and stuff like that on there. Maybe
Facebook Marketplace.
You know, yeah, maybe buy up some scrap stuff so that way it's easier on our pocketbook and so on and so forth. So that's all we really have to do, so we don't have to be going and spending, like, you know, oodles and oodles of dough at the companies with their gouge racketing up prices and so on. So that's just all we got to do.
What was that?
Some neighbor must have dropped something or something fell. So.
Yeah.
That's just at the point where we're at right now.
Yep.
But we'll get there and we'll get it done.
Yep.
Because we're excited to get this done. We're like really excited.
Yeah, we are. It's just that today is just kind of like a bring us down bummer kind of thing, because here we are. We've got, I mean, she's going to finish sucking the insulation off the ceiling today. And then we just got to get the rust up off the floor and then vacuum. And then I got to buy a can of stuff to prep the floor with. We've got an idea on plugging the holes. Like I said in the beginning, I'd rather weld it, but I mean, because they nailed down the floor and stuff like that and everything else, it's just too many holes. And so I've kind of come up with a different idea. I want to run it by a couple other people, though, to see how they feel about that idea. But, yeah, I mean, once we get the floor prepped, we've kind of basically made the decision that we're not going to raise the roof, even knowing that it would be nice if we did. It would be nice if we could get the sheet metal to at least cover these windows and then put in different windows and stuff like that. And we may have to do something else. Yeah, so anyway, I'm a little tired and I'm a little because all the information that we got today that's just not helping in our benefit. I mean, the only thing we can hope for is that America, hopefully that because they're doing this across America and stuff like that, hopefully enough people can complain that the president, if he cares at all whatsoever, hears about it and decides that, maybe it's something that he needs to start looking into. Because I know there's laws against price gouging. And it's not like that the companies, like during the gas price wars and stuff like that, when certain gas stations were like trying to charge $12, $13, $14 a gallon because they knew that people needed gas and they wanted to try to get as much money as they could out of it. That's illegal, but my understanding of the law too is that if you raise it a certain amount each time and you just get it to a point that's going to be more beneficial for you, it's not really considered price gouging because they took the time to, whoops, I just realized the screen's dirty, sorry, hold on. That they took the time to raise the price up slowly and gently, and so it doesn't seem like price gouging because they did it gradually because of supply and demand and everything else, which there is a lot of supply and there is a lot of demand, but still, I mean, plus not to mention too, most of these sawmills and steel mills, they don't have the full working force that they used to have because they're trying to follow pandemic rules about how many people they can have working and this and that and everything else, which is understandable. But as big as these places are, they can bring, and the amount of lines that they have to do certain things, they can, they're probably only running a day shift and a swing shift. They're probably even not running 24 hours a day like they used to. And they need to try to run 24 hours a day somehow, some way, somewhere. Anyway, Marie's trying to cut my head off right now, so I look up at her and she's just all like, I'm going to kill you right here. That's what I'm going to do.
We got to get to work and he's jabbing.
Yeah, no, I'm venting is what I'm doing.
I know, well.
And I figured I'd vent to you guys. And at least let you guys know what's going on. So we've got some decisions to make here. We're probably definitely not going to raise the roof now because we can't afford it.
Yeah, and it sucks big time, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, we've got a couple other options that we can do to get the room that we need. We only need room in the shower area for me because I'm as tall as I am. And because like right now I got plenty of headroom because everything's out of the bus. The floor's out of the bus, the ceiling's out of the bus. And so there's plenty of room. But as soon as we put all the wood and everything back in here, then I'm going to lose that headroom. So there's a couple other options that we have that we can do. And we just got to look at all of our options and make sure we make the best ones, make the right choices at the time.
So until then, ta-ta for now.
Her way of telling me to shut up and get off the darn camera. So, all right, we'll talk to you guys in a few. Here we are sweeping, cleaning up the bus, using a magnet to get all the metal off the floor. As you can tell, the floor is really rusted. That's the project we're going to tackle today, is cleaning up all that rust. Alrighty, so like I said, I'd get back on. This is pretty much the end of the video. So the last part there, we are grinding the rust off the floor. And then I later on found out that the I thought what was on the wheel wells was rust also. It's just glue. But we need to get all the rust off the floor so we can paint the floor. And then once we paint the floor, then it's time to put in the wood and stuff like that. So everything, basically the floor is, right now the floor is completely clean. There's no more rust on the floor at all whatsoever. There are still some nails that are stuck in the floor, and we need to get the nails up and out so we can get the holes plugged so we don't have any more rust problems, because we can put down the POR 15 paint, which is what we're painting the floor with. We bought it on Amazon. It's $144 for a gallon of it. We have to make sure all the nails and screws and anything else that's sticking through the floor that's causing the rust are out. So because if the nails or the screws or anything else is still in it, then the floor is still going to rust, and we need to make sure every single one of those things are out. So that's what we haven't been doing it for a while. It got 100 plus degrees here for 3 days in a row. We haven't been to the bus in 2 weeks now. Everything that has happened to us that I can't talk about right now, but we will soon. As soon as we can get back to the bus, like I sat there and said yesterday or 2 days ago in that video, that just something has happened and it's taken our life and the bus build kind of in a different direction. And but anyway, yeah, we're not going to go through that again, where I repeat myself 15 million times. So, but yeah. So right now, the only thing we got left to do is get the nails out of the floor, paint the floor, plug the holes, paint it again, and then we'll be good. And then I got to work on getting some of all the electrical. We need to pull out most of that electrical, because half the stuff that the electrical lines are running to, we're not even using. So we got to get all that electrical line out, and then once that's out, it's wood insulation and putting stuff in and making it our home. So, but as soon as we can get back on from the break of the bus build and be able to tell you guys what happened and what's going on and stuff like that, then, and hopefully we'll be able to do it here pretty soon. Like I said, in maybe a couple of weeks or whatever. The last part of this video is Marie. While me and Brandon were grinding away, she was supposed to be hanging over us, recording. And for some weird reason, she decided to record herself just goofing around. She's just looking in the camera. There's these birds that when they're being filmed in nature and stuff like that, and they see the camera people and stuff like that, they tend to start walking towards the camera, and as they're walking towards the camera, they're looking in the lens and they're doing this, and that's basically what she's doing. She decided it was going to be funny, and well, just watch it and you'll get a laugh. I just was able to get some new footage downloaded, and I'll get that up sometime this week. And then after that, that's it, where the bus build is on hold until further notice. So, alrighty, enjoy Marie being a dork, and yeah, and we'll try to get back to you guys as quickly as we can. Thanks.